time, eh? March the 6th, we got shown a teaser for a possibility of a Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Well, I assume it's going to be called 4, or is it going to be called the, I don't know, Dragonball Super Budokai Tenkaichi? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Now, if you're quite young, you probably don't know what in the Sam hell was the big deal. Well, let me tell you a big deal, buddy. Let me tell you the big deal about this game. Yeah, the Budokai games, the Budokai 1, 2, and 3, then you got the Budokai 1 and 3 collection, HD collection. Then you got Budokai Tenkaichi's 1, 2, and 3 that were on the PS2 and Wii, if I remember at the time. I had it on the Wii, and to be honest, it was a lot more fun because you could actually do like kind of the hand gestures of the actual attacks, and I thought that was kind of cool. But I can't say much on the controller experience, like actually like a handheld controller. All I could say is, my god, the analog sticks got abused. From the amount of beam struggles you do and stuff, oh, Lord have mercy on those controllers in the future. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there such a big hype for this game? I mean, isn't it just going to be the same as the other Dragon Ball Z games? You know, just retelling the same story over and over again? Well, kinda, yeah, you're not wrong. You know, you're not wrong. I can't exactly argue on that. Now, myself, I have played quite a number of games, starting with Super Dragon Ball Z on the PlayStation 1, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, Game Boy Advance, Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 1, Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2, Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury, the Nintendo Wii, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the PS3 games, Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit, Dragon Ball Rage and Blast, Dragon Ball Ultimate Tenkaichi, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 and 3 Collection, Dragon Ball Rage and Blast 2, Dragon Ball Battle of Z, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, PS4, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I've played a numerous amount of Dragon Ball Z games, and yes, I'm aware they're just the same thing, just different mechanics, different graphics. Yes, I'm very aware, but I love it each time. Just the different experiences and how they go about the games and how they actually make it more enjoyable. I mean, for me, in terms of RPGs, well, I'd go for Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2, if not that, then Kakarot, because, well, Kakarot looks gorgeous, it looks the best. It is the best looking for Dragon Ball Z games, the best of the bunch. For Legacy of Goku 2, I like the RPG aesthetic, playing for the game while leveling up your character, doing certain side quests, while continuing the Dragon Ball Z story. But for just button mashing, completely just having fun with your friends, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is the best one, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, for the story. Yes, you get Dragon Ball Z, plus the movies, but you also get Dragon Ball, and you get Dragon Ball GT, and you get to have all the characters. Well, a lot of characters to be exact, but this game has a large character roster. I mean, yeah, some characters have the same kind of mechanics, just reskinned, but it's nice to have them there as an option. That's why I like. They're actually utilizing the advantage of expanding on the character roster and what characters you can play as. I enjoy that. We want more of this, and that is why a lot of people enjoy this game, because you have the large variety in characters you can play, from minimal characters to the highly popular and favorite characters. You have different versions of said characters in the certain states in the story of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. And that I like. I like that you have particular, like, distinctions of certain characters. Like, you got Goku early, Goku mid, lol, and Goku last? Goku new? What's the last Goku called? I don't know. And guess what? They each have distinct move differences. And I do like that touch. Like, it's not just like, oh, a character costume and they still have the same moves. Depending on what Goku you pick, for example, they have different movesets depending on the story that they were from. Because certain versions of the character will have certain transformations, and some won't, unless you go to the next version of that character. And this is back then before they made a character transformation a character slot. Look at you, Battle of Z. That was just disgusting. How dare you? That was disgusting. You do not make a character transformation its own character slot. The arena. You got various locations set from the movies, from the actual show itself, which I love. From the World Tournament, to the deserts, to Namek, to spaceships, outer space, a lot of various arenas, along with night versions as well. We have the full moon. And if you play on a full moon arena with a Saiyan, guess what? If he's got a tail, he'll transform into a great ape. Yes, a great ape is a character you can play. Because I've noticed that as well, they take away that effect. You can fight the boss of a great ape, but you can't play as them as much. It's very bizarre. But with a new announcement of a new Budokai Tenkaichi 4, there are some things I'm kinda, well, concerned about. With the uprising changing in games and how they structure and how things are done, I'm afraid there might be some, well, pet peeves coming the way. Such as microtransactions. We all know them for being a pain in the ass. I'm expecting this game to have some too. And particularly with certain characters. Now, I can expect like the more popular characters being unlockable throughout the game as you complete the story. I assume Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Super. Just a selection. And the movies as well. Oh my god, that's gonna be a lot. But I'm guaranteed that some of the characters, maybe side characters, secondary characters, are going to be hidden by a paywall, which is going to kind of suck. Some unique costumes I can guarantee, like maybe some from the movies or certain events, or maybe just something unique to the game itself, they're probably going to cost a bit as well. And that's what I'm dreading. Maybe certain arenas, certain soundtracks. Hell, I'm okay with like maybe they push the manga stuff as DLC. That would be totally understandable, but I just hope they don't like take the piss out of it and just go, oh, you want to play a bit of the, you know, special bits in Dragon Ball? Well, gotta pay like $15 for that one. It's like, it's weird, man. I'm afraid that's gonna happen because, let's face it, anytime there's like a big shonen game, they can milk that for the money it's worth. Oh, you want to play these certain characters? Well, they're not in the game right now, but if you pay a certain amount here, you can have them in the game. Oh, you want this certain thing in the game? Well, you can have it, but it'll cost you. That's what I'm worried about, because back then, it was all out there. There was no DLCs, there's no updates back then. It was all in the game. Because back then, a game was 100% the game, and not just 50-20% of the game. It was all there in one disc, slide it in the console, boom, unlock it by playing through the game or buying certain items. But nowadays, things have changed. I'm just dreading, though, what they're going to allow to be on it and what we're going to buy for it. That's what I'm worried about. But they'll definitely have Z. They'll let you play through all of Z in Super, but I'm guaranteed, like, for, like, maybe some of the movie stuff, like, well, some movie stuff. I say the Broly movie and Superhero, they'll probably put it on the paywall. Maybe, depending on the time they release it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we've got this, but you gotta pay, like, what, fucking $15 for it? Probably, that's what I'm guessing. Certain costumes, again, will probably cost you, because, you know, they want to get their money's worth. Certain characters as well, like, oh yeah, you can fight this character, but you can't play as them. Even if you beat them, you'll probably need to pay for them later on. Probably be like, what, $5? I'm guaranteed. Because, again, they do this with Xenoverse 2, for God's sake, and that game's, how many years old? That game is old, and they still running more DLCs to buy, to play more of the game. It's extortionate. Fire Z does this with minimal characters. I mean, yeah, it's like, what, £3 or something, I think? But even then, they're charging you for these certain characters that are been established in the games or in the franchise. It's crazy. It's absolute madness. So what is it that I'm expecting for this game to have? Well, if it ain't that obvious, I'll tell you. 1. A large character roster. All the characters. Just take Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but add Super into the mix with every possible character to play as. Anyone and everyone that is possible. I don't care how minimal they are, get them in there. I don't care. Get them in the game. Secondly, take all the arenas in Super and just stick them in, this game. It's not that difficult, just put them in the game. And I should expect the environmental effects of the arenas in Super to match up with Budokai Tenkaichi's, where if you, use ultimate in a certain angle, it can blow up the arena and cause a destructive version. Kinda cool. Or, if it's a full moon place, or it could be a nighttime one, it can turn people into great apes, or let them do all kinds of things. I expect that in this game as well. I hold this to high expectations. I don't normally do this kind of thing, but with Budokai Tenkaichi, you better have exactly what I want. Like, that one scene in Ratatouille where the critic eats the food and he gets like flashbacks to his childhood? I want that kind of experience when I get this game. I want to play the game and have nostalgic overload in my brain of me playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3 when I was in high school. I want that. If it doesn't give me that, you have failed me. You have failed. I believe you're missing a few elements in this game that you're discussing about. Aren't you forgetting about the graphics and, most importantly, the controls? I mean, don't you want them to be good as well? Oh yeah, I want the graphics to be good. Who doesn't want the graphics to be good in their game? What are you talking about? Like, somewhere in Kakarot's level. Somewhere in Kakarot's. If just a little bit down, that's fine. But as long as it looks nice, that's all I care about. Jesus, you are obsessed. It's a good game, okay? I have been waiting. Many of us have been waiting for this game for years. I mean, the last game it came out was like 2007, 2009. Like, that's a long time, man. We've been demanding it. There's been a fan game of it. Someone's modded the game to have all these other characters, and I appreciate that, but that's awesome. But now we might be getting an actual rendition officially made. Well, anyway, what are your guys' thoughts? What are you particularly hoping for this Budokai Tenkaichi game to have? Is it the character roster? Is it the actual story to be everything, like all from Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, all the movies? What is it you particularly want this to succeed at and not fail at all? This has been Drew, those are my views, and I bid you adieu.